Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about child to parent component communication in real time example of use states. Guys, this is going to be a very important concept in the React JS because there are many cases where we want to send data from a child component to a parent component. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to use the same real-time example. So let's go to the code. And now I want to send the data from this component. When I click on the create student button, it needs to go to this students record component. So what I need to do here, I need to pass this component data to, we can see the what is the parent component. Let me just check. So create student record exists in this app.js, and on the app.js we have a dynamic data which is where we need to add the data in this std records array. So how we can do that? How we can pass data from the child to parent? In our previous videos, we know that we can pass data from parent to child. This is a child component student records. But from student record, we are not passing to the parent app.js. But now when we click on the create student record button, submit button, we need to pass this data to that array so that we can have one new record of this student. So it's not very complex, it's very easy. All we need to do is we have the student on the form, we have the submit, on submit, and in the on submit, I need to pass submit handler. This is the function which will be called when I click on this form submit. All I need to do is const and form submit. Right. So here again, I have the event, which is going to be the default object. So what I need to do, so now if I click here, you can see the page get reloads, right? I want to stop this first of all. So I'm going to use this event dot prevent. Those of you who have worked on the JavaScript, they are familiar with this thing. Event prevent default. So prevent default. It is going to stop this event to re-render the page. So now this is fine. It looks good. Now I need to create a const object. I will say student new new data. All I need to do is I need to pass code. I can get this from std code. Then I need to pass name. I can get this from std name. From std name and std code are both are use states, as you all know. Then I need to pass age std age, and then we need to pass email. We get email from std email. So we get this, and now I'm going to do console.log to check that new data is coming fine or not. Okay, guys, let's go to our application and F12. Okay, so I'm going to say 7766 and then I'm going to say name is check and age is 23 and email is check at abc.com. So let me just check it. I need to clear it. So that's cool. We are getting this object, but we are not getting the value of email and name. Why? Let us just check it because we have committed this code. So I'm going to uncomment it. We're going to set the values. So now it's going to work fine. Okay, okay, 889. Then name is Lisa and age is 28 and Lisa at abc.com. So now I'm going to see, and it looks good to me. So we get our states data in the object which we are using. So now what we are going to do, we need to, when we click on the submit button, we need to pass this data to app component because app is the parent of this create student. So how we can send this data in React offers us we can communicate between the components with the uh, property thing. So how we can achieve this thing? So let me just create a function here. I will say function and I'll say on save new student, or I can say on save student data. I'm going to say student data. And here I'm going to pass student record, student data. And all I need to do here is pass this equal to here. Looks good. So when we receive the student data, what we need to do, we need to add this to our new, I can say, fields in the array, we can say, because in array right now we have 5 records, so we can add more. So how we can achieve this, I will say console.log, and to check that a student is passing the right data or not. And I will say, so just for the confirmation that that this math method got hit, so I will say app.js got hit, get hit, right? Cool. So now we have the student function here, on save student function. All I need to do, I need to pass this method here in the custom object. So I'm passing the name. You need to make sure that whatever the name of the function you are passing here, you need to use that name in this. So now I need to use the props. So you understand that from props, if I'm going to write the props dot, I will write props dot on save. So I need to copy the name on save student data. What it will do when I'm going to call this, it is going to, yes, how it's going to work. So when compilers come here, it will see that on the properties, from the properties we are getting this function name. So what it will do, it will go on the app.js and it will find the function here and it will hit this function. This is how we can pass the data from the child to the parent components through functions, right? Using the properties object. So now let me just check it. Is this is working fine? And okay, I will go here. There's some restrictions from the React, so don't need to worry about it. Okay, I will write 765 like this, and I will say Jack, and I'm going to say 21 and check at a.com like this. So when I click on the, I just open a console. So when I click on the create student, it will get the data from this component and pass it to the parent component where we have the list of all these students. So let me just check it's the child is passing it to the parent or not. So cool guys, we can see here the child is passing the data to the child. So app.js get hit. So we are getting the two variables. The reason is that we have written the console layer as well as. So this is how easy we can send data from the child to parent. So now what we are going to do next? Next we are going to add the object here in this array, the student new object, and I'm going to render the student's record, and I'm going to show how we need to uh, dynamically display our data because we have more than one record. So we are not going to create the multiple user controls or multiple custom controls or components on our application. But instead of this, we are going to use the one custom control, and I'm going to use the loop, conditional loop, so I can loop the number of students with one component. I'm going to show all the records, and I'm going to, once I click here, I'm going to update the array as well as the student's record, right, guys? So I hope this video is very interesting and useful to you, and you have enjoyed and you have learned from this video. And this here I'm going to update the records, and it is going to be interesting later on. So thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.